Then I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This is the light pink color. I've used this a few times and I have not been obsessed with it, but I have not used it in a few months. I feel like this is definitely something I would like, but I feel like I remember thinking it didn't do a whole lot when I used it. It's doesn't do a lot in terms of like blurring and setting your makeup. I felt like it was just kind of a light, kind of glowy looking powder, but not even anything that really shows up too much. So I am going to keep it because I want to keep testing it, but I don't know. I'm undecided on this powder. Then I have the Rare Beauty Loose Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Light. So this one is more of a pinky color. It's like a light pink. It's not like a super, super pink powder, but I like this powder. It's nice. It's not my favorite loose powder formula. I will say I like this much better if I just use a fluffy brush to apply it. I find that if I use something like a powder puff with this, it looks a little bit heavier than I like personally. So I don't like to use it that way, but I do like to use it as, or with a brush. So I will be keeping it. This is one I am going to get rid of. This Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Powder. This is a great formula, but this is supposed to be a translucent powder. So it has this little flap on it, which is nice. And then you pull this up. This is supposed to be translucent, but every time I use this, this is not translucent in my opinion. It changes the color of my makeup. It definitely makes it darker. You'll never be able to see it in like a swatch, but this is just not translucent. I know it says it is. I wish they would come out with more colors of this because the formula is very good. It is super smoothing. One of the best loose drugstore powders in terms of the formula that I've tried, but the color is not it. It's not translucent. So that one I will be decluttering. Then we have the Huda Beauty Cupcake Powder. This is definitely a keep. Not an everyday kind of product for me. I typically use this when I am filming or I'm doing like a full face of makeup for like an event or special occasion or something. I don't really reach for this daily, but it's a great powder. It really does set and just mattify your skin, but in a really beautiful way. So that is a definite keep. The Givenchy powder I will obviously be keeping, although I will say I am not obsessed with this powder like everybody else. I don't think it's bad at all. I just am not. Some people just rave about how fantastic this powder is, and I think it's good, but I've never used it and thought like this is like unbelievably amazing. I don't know. And I think again it might be, I find the more I use my loose powders with powder puffs, depending on the formula, sometimes I don't like them as much. I find that can be a little bit too heavy for me. So I kind of want to experiment with this a bit more and try it with a brush instead. Because I've done that in the past, but not in a while. But anyway, I will absolutely be keeping it. Then I have just a little mini Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is definitely a keep. I really like this powder. I've kind of gotten more into this in the last few months. I used to not be a huge fan of it, but this is really great powder. I know they have the newer version, the Ultra Blur powder now, but I do enjoy just the regular one, so I will be keeping it. Then I have two Bare Minerals Original Powder Foundations. I never use these anymore, but I can't bring myself to get rid of them. I just have a special place in my heart for Bare Minerals. I used that before I used any other makeup, and it doesn't feel right to not have them. So I have Fairly Light and Medium Beige. Fairly Light is when I'm at my most fair, but it's a pretty good match. And then Medium Beige is for this time of year if I have a little bit of color. So I am going to keep them. Okay, moving over this way, I have some powder foundations, pressed ones. up here in the front. So the first one is the Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation in Bright Beige. So I feel like I haven't used this one enough to really give an accurate review of it. I definitely think this shade is a bit light for me right now. Yeah, it definitely is. I've used it once or twice. I want to say I just used it kind of in certain areas. I didn't use it all over my face as like my actual foundation, but I haven't used it lately. I think I might hold on to this and try this out again. I haven't been into powder foundation lately. That's just something I kind of go through phases with, but I do want to keep testing this out, and I think maybe use it in the center of my face to kind of set my T-zone maybe, not my whole face. I don't know. I am going to hold on to it. I am going to be decluttering this one from e.l.f. This is the Camo Powder Foundation. This color is not good. Way too yellow. Okay, yeah, you'll see. Way too yellow. Like almost like an orangey yellow color. Yeah, that's gonna be a definite no for me. Actually, I don't love this formula anyway. I would say it's pretty dry. So if you have dry skin, I would definitely stay away from this. Maybe if you have oilier skin, but I've never been a huge fan of it, so I am gonna go ahead and declutter it. Then I have this one from Maybelline, the Super Stay Hybrid Powder Foundation in 118. Okay, this one is pretty good. It is extremely full coverage though, so this is one you want to apply with a bit of a fluffier brush unless you're looking for full coverage. This will give you that if you want it. But the formula on this is nice. I would say it's like, it's just like a softer matte finish. It's not drying like that e.l.f. one I was just talking about. This one is much better in my opinion. And this color is actually pretty good, so I will keep that one. Then I have the MAC Studio Fix in NC 25. Looks like this. I haven't used this lately, but I think it's actually a pretty good match. It actually kind of has hard pan. I need to get this out and use this more. Like I said, I haven't been into my powder foundations recently, but yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this. I need to put this to the side and get rid of that hard pan, but I am gonna keep that. And then now we're moving on to just regular powders. So the first one is this McGRATH under eye setting powder. This is pretty good. I'm not in love with it. It's very finely milled. Like, I mean, if you've ever seen this in Sephora, next time you're there, just swatch it with the tester. I mean, it is extremely fine. It's unbelievable. It is called a blurring powder. I don't know that I agree that it's super blurring. I do think it kind of smooths over your under eyes just because of the texture of the powder, but I don't know that I find it does a ton of blurring, but it's nice and I do like it, so I do want to hang on to it. The number 7 Lift and Luminate powder I have light medium. I am definitely going to keep this. This is a great, more affordable powder if you want something that's really going to give you that smoothing, blurring quality. This one actually does. However, this has been repackaged and I think reformulated in the last 6 months or so. So I don't know how the new one is. This is the old one. They don't look like this anymore. They're in like a blue and white compact, I want to say. I hope it's still good. Like I said, I just haven't tried it, so I don't know, but this is a great powder. Definitely want to keep it. Okay, then I have this one. This was actually sent to me a long time ago. This is the Perez Corn Translucent Powder. This is just okay. I've used this a few times, and first of all, it's a little bit on the yellow side, which I don't love. And the texture is kind of interesting. It's a little bit, I don't even know. It's almost kind of chunky feeling, like it's not a super smooth feeling formula. And I don't love the color on it either. So I don't I never want to use this. I never reach for it, so I am going to declutter that. I have this one from Wet n Wild. This is the Bare Focus finishing powder in the shade Fair Light. This one's okay, but I'm not crazy about it. It's not a super, I don't know. When I use this, I don't feel like it does much of anything, to be honest. It's kind of a hard pressed powder. Like not a whole lot even comes off when you use it. It's very, I don't know, I guess it's just very hard pressed in this pan, but I never want to reach for it. I don't really enjoy it when I do, so I will go ahead and declutter. Then I have this one. This is actually very new to me. I've been testing this out a few times at this point, and I am really enjoying this powder, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop mattifying powder. I have really been liking this. I've probably been using it for about 2-ish weeks or so. I don't think I've used it in a video yet, but I have really been enjoying this. It's very undetectable on the skin. That's kind of what I look for with powders. I can't stand it when powders make your skin look just heavy and kind of gross. I can't stand that. But yeah, I want a powder that does set my makeup down, especially my T-zone. So kind of a fine line that you have to find there. But this one I really enjoyed. The texture is super smooth and just nice. This may be a new drugstore favorite. This is the shade Light, and I definitely want to hang on to it. The Clinique Stay Matte Pressed Powder in the shade Stay Cream. This is honestly kind of similar to that Era Perez powder that we talked about earlier. It's just a harder pressed kind of formula, and it comes off a little bit, I don't know, a little bit chunky is the only way I know to describe it. I don't know. Again, another one I don't really reach for a ton. And I feel like if I keep it, it's just going to kind of sit and not get used. So I'm going to declutter. Okay, this next one, you guys, I have been meaning to do this. Look, this powder, I need to repress it. I know, I just haven't done it. It's almost gone anyway. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder in the shade 1. I've never repressed a powder before. I've looked it up, how to do it numerous times. I just have not done it. So I need to do it because I want to use this up. This is a great powder. So yeah, I'm going to put this over to the side. So I will force myself to do it. Okay, then I have this one. This is the Hourglass Diffused Light Ambient Powder. So this is kind of a light yellowy powder from Hourglass. I don't love this under my eyes, and that's kind of what I bought it for. Years ago, these were super popular for under your eyes. I feel like not as many people talk about them as much now. I just don't ever think to use it, but I feel like maybe I'm missing out with this one. Maybe I need to put it in my everyday makeup drawer. I don't know. It's just, I don't typically go super yellow under my eyes, but I want to keep trying it. I want to try to make it work. That's a very expensive powder. So I'm going to hang on to that. I also have this cute little Westman Atelier powder that is so heavy. Comes in this cute little bag, but this is the, I forget, the skincare infused powder or something like that. This is the pink color, which I love. It's a light pink, and on your under eyes it does not look super pink at all, but it's a nice powder and was very, very expensive, so I will definitely be keeping it. Then we have the La Mer, what is this called? The Sheer Pressed Powder in the shade Light. This is a great powder. I don't use it much because I'm almost positive this has now been discontinued, but it's a great powder and it was quite pricey, although I did get this at the cosmetics company store, so it was much less than it would have been if I paid the regular price for it, but I am going to keep it. Then we have the newer NARS powder. This is the, what is this? Advanced Soft Matte Perfecting Powder in the shade Creek. I've really been liking this, and I feel like a lot of people weren't a huge fan of this one. This has not been out a super long time, but this shade is really nice. I feel like this does a really good job of smoothing the skin. I know I'm not doing these swatches so you can really see something. I'm just doing it just for myself, but it doesn't look heavy. And I do feel like it smooths over my skin. One thing I don't love about this is it's kind of hard to open. The package or the component is really thin, which is nice, but it also just makes it kind of hard to open up. But anyway, I like the powder and I will keep it. I also have the Sephora Microsmooth powder. This is a baked powder that I like, similar to the Kosas Cloud Set powder, which is not in here because it's in my everyday makeup drawer right now. That's obviously not going anywhere. This one is very similar. I think the Kosas does leave a little bit more glow to your skin than this one. That's what I like about the Kosas powder, is it does set your makeup, but you don't lose all the life from your skin. It doesn't mattify too much, I guess is what I'm saying. This one is pretty good. I don't think it's as good as that one, but I enjoy it when I use it, so I do want to keep it. The Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, the pressed version. This one is the shade Sheer Light. This is good. It's not anything to write home about. This one is another one though that gets hard pan pretty bad, but the color is great. It's not too light, it's not too dark. Adds just a little bit of, I was gonna say coverage. It's not even really coverage. It's just like a slight bit of pigment to your face. It just has a little bit of color, but not much. It's very sheer, but I do like it when I use it, so I'm gonna hang on to it. Moving right along, we're gonna go into highlighters, which are in this portion of the drawer, so let's get started. First is the Merit, I think this is called the Day Glow Balm in Kava. This is actually brand new to me, but I really enjoy it so far. This is just a true wet highlight. I mean, it does not look like a typical highlight at all. It's truly what the name says. It's like a balmy highlight, and it's just beautiful. It gives you that super wet, glossy look. So that is a definite key. Okay, then we have two of the Rare Beauty highlighters. Absolutely will be keeping these. This is probably my favorite liquid highlight that I've ever tried. I love it on its own, but I also love mixing these with the Rare Beauty blushes. So I have two of them. I have Mesmerize, so that's Mesmerize, and then this one is Enchant. This one is more of like a true light pink, but I love them both. So they probably don't look that different on my hand, but that's Mesmerize and that is Enchant. But these, if you haven't tried them, they are stunning. Such a pretty, really thin formula. They don't have huge chunks of glitter in them or anything, and they're great to mix in with blushes. So those I love and definitely want to keep them. The e.l.f. Halo Glow highlight in Rose Quartz. So I've talked about these Halo Glow wands a few times, but these are not my favorite. I think these were very disappointing personally. I don't like the packaging. I think the highlights were the best of the three. I just don't know if I'm gonna use it. Like, I'm always gonna choose the Rare Beauty over this. But at the same time, I mean, this color is pretty, the Rose Quartz. I'll keep it for now. But I mean, it is pretty. The highlights are pretty. I don't love these from e.l.f., but anyway, we're gonna keep it for now. I have two of the Surratt, what are these? Torche Lumiere highlighters, I think is how you say it. These were sent to me when I got that PR package from Surratt a few months ago. This formula, you guys, like this one is kind of a yellowy gold, but oh my gosh, I don't know if you'll be able to see. It looks kind of scary in here, but then when you apply it, it is so sheer and sparkly and very little color actually. I don't feel like there's much base pigment in these. It's just such like a scattered light looking highlight. Anyway, they are beautiful. I will keep that one. That's the shade Dior, D''OR, and then this is Rose Diamante, which is a pinky color that is also beautiful. But these, you guys, they feel like nothing on your skin. That's how thin the formula is, but they are beautiful. Anyway, those are definite keeps. I have this from Nude Sticks. This is the Nudies Glow All Over Highlight in the shade Brown Sugar Baby. I got sent this a long time ago. I'm not sure why this color, because this is very dark for my skin tone. And it's a little bit on the coppery side, which is not really something I would use. I could maybe use it as like a glowy bronzer, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that one. Here's a close-up of those on my arm. So these are the Surat ones, and then that's that Nude Sticks one. Then we have the Hey Honey highlight from Nude Sticks. Now this one is, oops, oh no, I just stuck my finger in it. This one is much better for my skin tone. It's like a golden kind of peachy highlight. It's really pretty, so that one I will be keeping. Then I have this one from Sephora collection. This is the Clean Glowing Multi-Stick in Supernova. So this one is kind of similar, I would say, to the Kava highlight from Merit, but I like the Merit one a bit better, but they're very similar. This one has a bit more glitter in it if you look like super close. I don't think you're going to be able to pick it up on the camera, but they're similar. I don't need both. I like the Merit one a bit better, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. And then I have the Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand highlight from Charlotte Tilbury. I never reach for this. I don't know why, because it's very pretty. So I will definitely keep it, but I don't reach for this. I mean, it's just a really pretty pinky rose gold highlight. Looks like that. Very pretty, but I will be keeping it. Then we have this one from Westman Atelier. So many of you told me that I needed this in my life. This is the Super Loaded Tinted Highlight in Peau de Peche. And you guys, this is a beautiful product. I mean, it is ridiculously expensive, but it is beautiful. It's a little bit on, I would say, like the peachy side. So honestly, I could get away with just kind of using this as blush and not even using a blush. I could honestly probably use this as bronzer just based on the color, but it is very pretty. The formula is very unique. I really like it. So that is an obvious keep. Okay, then we're moving on to the powders. I have a mini little Bobbi Brown Pink Glow. Such a classic. I mean, like, how pretty is that? Like, why do I not use this? Yeah, look at that. Such a pretty formula. That is a definite keep. I've got to speed up, otherwise we're going to be here all night. This is the Rare Beauty Powder Highlight in Exhilarate, which is also, I mean, look at that, you guys. So pretty. Keep. Not going anywhere. Oh my gosh. Then we have the Balm Mary Luminizer. So I bought this not a long time ago. I guess it has been a long time ago. Bought this in New York City, actually, a few years ago when I was there with my mom. So I missed the craze of this. I didn't have this back when it was like super popular, but so pretty. This is definitely a more like subtle highlight. I can't get rid of that. I can't get rid of that. I need to pull my highlights out more, honestly. I don't know why I don't. I have this one from Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlight in Venusian nude. Look at that. I found this pretty recently at Marshall's and it was just so pretty. I had to have it. I mean, look at this, you guys. Oh my gosh, just as eyeshadow. I mean, how pretty is that? I love sparkly things. I think that's my problem with highlight and why I always want to buy them, because I love sparkly things. Even though I do not want to pull them out and use them. I don't know why. Another example, this Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Multi Glow in Romance Light. This was a limited edition one they did. I think this was last year, but it's like 4 different colors. You can like swirl them together. Again, very pretty. Not super glittery. It's more of like, I don't know, a little bit more subtle, but still very pretty. We'll be keeping it. Okay, then I have this one from Jouer. I got this, I think, I got it as a free gift one time. I think when I ordered from Beautylish, I want to say, but this is the Skinny Dip highlighter. I definitely have not put this on my face. I think I did swatch it when I got it. Ooh, it's pretty. That's a very different kind of formula. It's not super sparkly. It's more just like glowy, but not in a sparkly way. I was thinking I might declutter this, but I don't know, maybe not. I don't think I can declutter that. I was kind of planning to, but I don't think so. I have this one from MAC. I randomly found this one time at TJ Maxx. I am a mess in TJ Maxx. I get myself in trouble with the makeup in TJ Maxx sometimes, but this is the cream color base in Shell. So I've always wanted Hush and you can't get it. This formula has been discontinued for some reason. I think it was very popular, so I don't know why MAC would discontinue this, but this one is the shade Shell, which is also pretty. It's just more of a pink. Oh yeah, see, that's pretty. I need to use that. You guys, I'm like sleeping on my highlights. That is stunning. Why did MAC discontinue this? Does anybody know? That's really pretty. Another one, MAC Soft and Gentle. I'm almost positive this was the first highlight I ever bought. When I was first getting into YouTube and makeup, this was the first one, and there's no way I'm getting rid of this. Yeah, still such a pretty formula. Yeah, definitely keeping it. Becca Champagne Pop, another one that I can't get rid of this. This was such an iconic thing in makeup, and it's still really pretty. I don't use it, but you can see this one is very well loved by me. So that one will be staying. This one's newer to me. This is Makeup by Mario in Pearl, I think. Yeah. I got this from my Makeup by Mario video I did a few months ago. This one is very pretty, more of a subtle highlight, so that's it right there. But I do like it. I will be keeping. You guys, this highlight, the Anastasia Amrezy. So this I bought off Poshmark probably a year ago or so because I always wanted it. Could not get my hands on it. Finally, I found someone selling one that was new in box on Poshmark. And so of course I bought it. And do I use it? Absolutely not. But this is just one of those things I just wanted. I just had to have it. So I don't remember how much I paid for it, but that is it there. Very pretty. Do I use it? No. Am I getting rid of it? Absolutely not. The House Labs highlighter in Pink Quartz. Okay, another beautiful. I would really consider this more of a blush. So pretty. These from House Labs. The formula is amazing. I also have Golden Peach. It's not in here because it's in my everyday makeup drawer, but this formula, if you haven't tried them and you like highlighters, try these out when you're in Sephora next time. So beautiful. And then this is one of the Mob Beauty highlights. This is one of their newer releases. What are these called? I got this in PR. It just says highlighting balm in M98, but it's like it's one of those really wet looking, not much of a base to it kind of highlights. you're not gonna be able to see it, but it's very pretty if you're wanting that wet skin look. So that I will be keeping. And that is it for highlight. Then we have face palettes. So we'll go through these quickly. Obviously, I'm not getting rid of a ton in this drawer. I kind of knew that going in, but I just, since I'm going through everything, we're gonna go through it, but probably not gonna see a whole lot of decluttering in this video today. But let's go through this other stuff real quick. Oh, this is actually a highlight, but it's over here, so I'll show you real quick. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Duo in Mood Light. This is new to me. I got this recently. It was recommended by Katie Jane Hughes. It's very pretty. It's like a pinkier highlight and more of a champagne. These are more subtle looking highlights. They're also really pretty as eyeshadow. That's brand new, so that is definitely staying. We have these from, or this palette from Sephora collection. This is their Microsmooth face palette. So you get 2 blushes, a highlight, and a bronzer in here. This is a great palette, highly underrated, I feel like, from Sephora. Like, just the bronzer alone. The formula is just really good. They're very blendable, really nice and easy. Great palette to travel with. You get the blushes and the highlight in here. I feel like not many people talk about these from Sephora, but like, look at the highlight even. So pretty. Yeah, I love this. Definitely a hidden gem I will be keeping. The Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm face palette. This is also very pretty. I do not reach for this one often, but I am not getting rid of it. I love Charlotte Tilbury. I very rarely declutter Charlotte Tilbury products. It's just not, it's not in my DNA. But that shade is the light one. It's really pretty. This is a nice palette. I'm not good at reaching for my face palettes. I don't know what it is. I just don't reach for them. I don't know, but like, that's the peachy blush there. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. I need to pull this out more, but anyway, that will be staying. If I could tell you a face palette that I love the most of any of them that have ever come out, that I've ever had, it would be this one. This is Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look of Love in a palette, the Pretty Blushed Beauty. You guys, this was one of her best, in my opinion. So you get a bronzer, a face powder, a blush, a highlight, and 3 eyeshadows. Everything in here is fantastic. I think she did this maybe for Valentine's Day a few years ago. I don't remember when it came out, but this one, 10 out of 10. This is the perfect take with you palette. You can do your whole face with this. She needs to bring these back, 100%. I think there were 2 of them. Love that one. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked, the elephant one. This is from this last holiday season. I do not reach for it much. I do not know why. It is beautiful. Those blushes are beautiful. I don't reach for my face palettes. I just don't. I don't know why. Because I love buying them. And when I see a face palette, I get like overwhelmed with the feeling that I need it. Yet I don't pull them out and use them. I always pull out my single products. I don't know why, but there it is. Hourglass Lighting Edit Sculpture. So this is from a few years ago. Again, I don't really use it a ton, but I'm not getting rid of these from Hourglass. I love them. They bring me a lot of joy. I need to get better at using my face palettes. And then I have one more. This is the Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost from a few years ago. So that's staying. Not getting rid of any of those. Oh, technically this is a highlighter palette, but do I even need to say anything? This is Iconic from Dior. I love every shade in here. I love this on the eyes, face. If you don't own this, this is one. Everybody needs that one. I love it. I also have this. Now this I don't use very often, but I still like it and I'm gonna keep it. This is a contour palette. I don't even know if they make this anymore from Dior, but you get 2 contours down here, and then these are actually highlights, I think. They're really pretty on the eyes as eyeshadow. It's more of a subtle formula. They're not like intensely like sparkly and pigmented, but I can't get rid of this either. These from Dior, these quads like this, I wish they would make more, come out with different like shade variations, because I love those. Okay, Hourglass palette. You guys, this is one of the first things I can remember buying when I started YouTube. I bought this and I thought it was just like the greatest thing ever. Let's see, so you get 3 shades in here. I use this a bunch, you can see. Dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. Just 3 finishing powders. This is very old at this point, but I don't care. I will be keeping. Okay, here's one I probably should not have purchased, but I did. This is the Tarte Precious Gems blush palette from this past holiday. Oh, and you do get a bronzer in here, which is nice. These are nice. The blushes are nice. The bronzer is nice. It's the Park Ave Princess bronzer that you get in here, but I never use this ever. This is another thing. I need to stop when the holidays come around with the face palettes. They get me every single time. I don't know what it is, but I have an obsession with face palettes, yet I don't use them. Go figure. I don't know. I'm probably going to keep it though. Natasha Denona Glam face palette. Now this is so pretty too. I have not used this in forever. This is the light one. I think there was a deeper version of this as well. I want to try to, I'm not a huge fan of this blush formula. It's like a kind of a putty blush formula, but the color is really pretty. It's a nice rosy pink. Again, I don't use it, but I like it. You get highlight. Highlight is really pretty in here too. I mean, look at that. Okay. Yep, that and these eyeshadows are stunning. I'm not going to swatch them, but they are beautiful. I need to use that. That's not going anywhere. And then this cute little e.l.f. powder blush palette. This I just bought on a whim. I think I bought it on elf.com one time. And it's actually very good. The e.l.f. powder blush formula is very good. And you get 4 really pretty shades in here. Yeah, these are pretty good. Very nice. No one talks about this either, this little blush palette. Let me see. This is the light version. I think there's one that the shades are a bit deeper than this one. But this is a great little drugstore blush palette we'll be keeping. And then these are definitely not going anywhere, but I'll just show you really quick. These are the Patrick Ta blush palettes. This was the first one. So you got She's a Doll, She's Vibrant, and She's Baked. Very, very bright colors. This was, I guess, from 2 years ago. I will not be getting rid of this. You would have to pry these out of my hands. You know how I feel about the Patrick Ta blush formula if you watch my videos. That one is She's a Doll. I mean, they're just fantastic. Just fantastic. You can get these individually now. You just can't get this particular palette. And then this one was not a lot of people's favorite, but I still like it and I do use it. The most recent blush palette he made. So this included a highlight and 2 blushes. These are a different formula. They are more shimmery. The creams are more shimmery. And the powders are a bit more shimmery too. So a lot of people didn't like them. I personally really do. So you can see that one there has the shimmer in it. She's a Doll does not. But for me, Patrick Ta can do no wrong. So I will be holding on to this. The highlight in here is just kind of a clear balm. And then like an actual powder highlight there. But yeah, these aren't going anywhere. You would have to pry these out of my hands. Okay, and then everything over here is just skincare. This is all stuff that I use, so that's not going to go anywhere. But I'm going to go ahead and put everything away now. And then that'll be it for day number 2. I know I did not declutter a lot here, so this was more of a collection than a declutter, but we did get rid of a few things. We got rid of 5 powders and 2 highlights, and everything else is staying. So I'm gonna go ahead and put everything away, and that'll be it.